Landing clients is the hardest part of being a freelance filmmaker, but it's one of the most important parts. As creatives, we obsess over the latest gear and filmmaking techniques so that we can produce the best work possible. And we do this to the detriment of learning sales, marketing, or anything business related that will actually help fund our passion. And that's why so many of us struggle. But I'm assuming if you're here, you want to break that cycle and actually land clients and get paid for your work. So I'm going to share with you the framework I use to land paying clients for my filmmaking company here in Bend, Oregon. By the way, my name is Bruno Pozo. I'm a full-time commercial filmmaker living here in Bend, Oregon, and I make weekly videos on filmmaking techniques, gear, and how to make money with your camera. If any of that interests you, then hit that like and subscribe button to see more. So here's my recipe for landing clients as a freelance filmmaker, and it comes in 4 parts. Number 1, you need to be able to do great work. Number 2, you need to be visible. Number 3, you need to master sales. And number 4, you got to over-deliver. Let's break each one of those down now. First, you gotta be able to do great work. Now, I won't harp on this point too much because it is fairly simple, but I think as creatives, we need to be honest with ourselves and actually objectively look at the quality of our work. Because at the end of the day, good work can only get you so far, but if you're not at a certain standard, you're not going to get work regardless. In fact, the barrier to entry really is having good work. So be honest and evaluate what are the skill sets you're good at, what are some things that are missing, and how can you improve. And you can also do a little bit of market research and see the type of work that people are producing in your local area and see how your content stacks up to that. Now, once you pass the quality test and are at a certain standard, now we can move on to the next step, which is being visible. For you to get clients, people have to know who you are and what you do. So this is where your online presence and in-person presence really matters. Unfortunately, a lot of creatives kind of end up being the best kept secret because they don't do a good job of advertising themselves. So what we're gonna have to do here is tackle all those fronts. If you don't already, you want to have a professional website. It could be a one-pager if you really want, but it just sort of outlines who you are, who you help, how you help them, and ideally some proof of past projects of people that have had success with your product or service. But having a website isn't everything if you don't have traffic going to it. And so what I personally really like to do is a little bit of social media marketing and attending local events. But before you do either of those, it's important to know who your target audience is and where do they hang out. For me, because I do mostly commercial filmmaking work where I'm helping businesses and personal brands grow using video, then I'm actually sticking to LinkedIn and a little bit of Instagram. Whereas if you're doing something direct to consumer, like selling to newlyweds a wedding video, or maybe you do family portraits, something like that, then you'll want to be on platforms more like Instagram, TikTok, and even Pinterest. It just all really depends on who your ideal customer is, and you're gonna have to reverse engineer that for yourself. But once you know where they are, then you can start creating content for those platforms. But you don't want the content to be all about me, what you do, what you sell, and how they can work with you. You want to be able to speak to your ideal customer and talk about their pain points, their struggles, their obstacles, and their desires. But if you want a full detailed breakdown of how I do that, then let me know in the comment section below and I'll make that video. But in any case, you want to start getting in front of your ideal customer. And I also like to attend in-person events because that allows me to build a much stronger connection and rapport with my ideal customer. So for me, that's typically industry events or networking events in the area. But for you, it could even be something like a farmer's market or some sort of wedding-styled event, something along those lines. No matter what it is, you want to attend these events so you can get in front of your ideal customer and make that connection personally. With that healthy balance of a website people can go to, social media marketing, and attending local events, you should be getting in front of your ideal client. And now you want to move on to the next step, which is mastering sales. Unfortunately, sales has a really bad rep of being like some sort of pushy, obnoxious thing that only car salesmen do to make your life miserable. But that's far from how you actually want to approach it. And in fact, sales is really about being in service of others. If you go into sales conversation with the mindset of actually helping the other person that you're talking to, you'll find you'll have much greater success and much deeper conversations as well. And if you'd like a specific framework, I like Chris Do's framework, and it's just sales as an acronym. S is for sales. This is the mindset you're going to enter the conversation with that allows you to think about helping the other person. A is for ask questions. This is where you're going to ask thoughtful questions so you can better understand the person's situation. L is for listen. This is where you're going to shut up and just actively listen. Don't say anything and don't think about what you're going to say. Instead, you want to actively listen to what the other person is saying so you can better understand them. Ideally, if you can, you would take notes as well, but only if you mentioned it to them before the conversation. E is for empathize. You want to get into the other person's shoes and understand their point of view. If you can really adopt this empathy, it'll allow you to make much better recommendations and decisions for them that are actually going to help and benefit them. And the last S is for summarize. After they're done talking, repeat back to them what you understood. This does two things. Number one, it lets them know you're listening and that you're paying attention to what they said. And number two, it makes sure you two are on the same page. And if there's some sort of misalignment, they can correct you and you'll better understand their situation. If you follow this framework, you'll find that you'll hear and be more attuned to opportunities around you, as well as rejecting the opportunities that don't actually work for you. And people will like you a lot more. You'll seem more charismatic because most people are thinking about what they're going to say about how they can make a sale, and instead you're thinking about them. They're going to feel that if you follow this framework. Once you find those opportunities that align and you actually get the client to sign up, then it doesn't stop there, and instead you need to over-deliver. I have found that this is an often overlooked aspect of providing a service. You want to leave every customer and client delighted to have worked with you. They should be better off for having worked with you and spent the money with you than they had been before. And an easy way to do that is to set the expectations, but when you can, over-deliver on them. If you say you're going to deliver something in 2 weeks, maybe if you have the bandwidth, deliver it in 1. If you capture some behind-the-scenes content during the shoot, share it with them and invite them to collaborate with you on that post on social media. Whatever it is, you want to make sure that they leave delighted, because when people leave delighted and like you and have a good time experiencing your service, they're more likely to recommend you to others. Even better, they might work with you again, and that's the start of a beautiful relationship with a client that's going to actually help support your business and make your passion into a profit. Remember, your reputation is everything, and you want to preserve it at all costs. So be pleasant to work with, over-deliver, and leave people leaving happy having worked with you. If you follow this framework, you'll find that you attract more opportunities and close more deals. But if you want to help increase your visibility and attract more clients to you so you're not having always to go towards them, then you'll want to check out my marketing guide here. You can leave a question in the comments section below, and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you who do. I'll see you in that next video. Peace.